On a warm and brilliantly sunshine-splashed afternoon along the Douro River estuary in northern Portugal, it's the third round of the 2015 UIM Formula One H2O World Championship for powerboating, the 14th Grand Prix of Portugal. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Steve Michael, alongside my longtime partner, many-time world champion Jonathan Jones, and we welcome you live to a lovely coastal city of Porto, known for its wine production, lavish beauty, and a romantic getaway. And before we delve into the stories that make up a very important stop on this racing season, let's first give you a beautiful area shot by taking you on a video tour of this ancient and truly unique area that makes up Porto, Portugal. Located along the Douro River estuary in northern Portugal, Porto is one of the oldest cities in Europe. Built on the hills overlooking the river, romantic Porto highlights its medieval relics. In the last 2 decades, Porto has broken out into a remarkable renaissance. More recently, the arrival of low-cost airlines, it has turned Porto into a popular magical weekend getaway. The birthplace of port, it's a long-running mecca for wine aficionados. Riverside wine caves and scores of cellars open for tasting. Of course, you'll be forgiven if what you remember most are the quiet moments. The slosh of the Douro against the docks. The sound of wine glasses clicking under a full moon. So many things to see, so many emotions yet to explore. You can do it all when you visit lovely Porto, Portugal. Back live on an exceptional summer day here in Portugal's second largest city. Now this race circuit on the Douro River is new to these drivers. It's rough, it's long, it's unpredictable. And Jonathan, it's truly a technical circuit. Let's dissect it. What are the challenges that these drivers will be facing today around this 7-pin, 2.158 kilometer race course?
Well, thank goodness the UIM have decided in their wisdom to make these circuits a lot longer. So in France, at the Grand Prix there, and at this one, much longer straights. Overtaking points probably on the back straight there between turn number 3, 4, and 5. If the drivers can straighten that out, because there is a slight kink to the right at turn number 4, but if they can straighten that out, Steve, that's going to be the overtaking spot.
Well, 1 month ago, we were in Evian, France, on Lac Le Mans. And the drama on and off the water was intense right to the end. In case you missed it, here's a quick recap of that afternoon. Round number 2 in France, and from the pole, Philippe Shep, the world champion from France, leads the giant field through. But right away, in the opening laps, there's a problem for Sami Celio. He takes the buoy out. He would lose a lap because of that. And Philippe Shep, the leader, drops out early. And with time running out 26 of the 34 laps, the race would come to a stop as Francesco Gattando and Eric Stark would crash down at turn number 5. As Sean Torrente was hoping to get second place, he would slow, he wouldn't finish in the top 3. And the win, a surprise winner, Youssef Al-Robian from Kuwait picks up his first career victory. Two-time world champion Sami Celio sizzled, earning pole position yesterday, and will lead the field of 20 drivers in search of his first win in his last 10 races. What are his concerns, and is he off, do you think, in a search for his 13th career victory today?
The main thing is the technical issues. That's what driver cannot do nothing about it during the race. You cannot go to repair it or fix it. And here in Porto we had some technical issues yesterday, and hope that they will not renew in today during the race. And we solved them in last night, and we know what is the problem, but let's wait and see if it's completely solved.
Well, the largest field in over 2.5 years is here this weekend at the Portuguese Grand Prix. 20 drivers from 12 different nations, 4 different continents. Let's take a look at today's starting lineup. On the pole, Sami Celio, a sizzling time. 3 world champions, 1, 2, 3 in a battle for the world championship. Rookie Eric Stark starting in the 4th spot. Sean Torrente leads this championship but only qualified 5th yesterday. As you can see, Youssef Al-Robian, who won the last race, is way down in 7th place. Ahmed El-Hamli looked strong this morning, as did Jonas Anderson. Duarte Benavente starting for Portugal down in the 10th spot. All eyes will be on him as you look at 2 French drivers farther down. And, of course, the 2011 pole sitter, Marit Stromoy, down in that 18th position. So we're about set to go as we continue on here. Now, the big thing to remember is starting 2nd and 3rd, as we mentioned, are a world champion pair. For the current title holder, Philippe Shep, How's he feeling going into the race? Well, for Alex Carella of Italy, who has just 7 points after 2 events, is he getting desperate yet? Let's find out.
Yes, I think we have a chance for the championship, but yesterday is very hard and it's not bad result to second position in the grid. But Sami is very strong yesterday, and now we do make a good start, and why not? We can do it.
It's a difficult year, we know this, and nothing is going in the good direction, but be there, we are close to the first guy, so I mean we are happy and not, so I mean today, especially here, that it will be almost impossible to pass, but okay, starting third, I hope just to finish in a good spot and finally take some points for the championship.
Boy, you can feel the tension around here, including those 2 world champions. Drivers' World Championship points leader Sean Torrente of the Victory team has a slim 5-point lead on the rest of the field of drivers. What are his concerns this afternoon? What can concern him, and what will make him happy at the end of the day?
Just reliability. We were still having some fuel issues yesterday. We hopefully got that sorted last night and have a good race today. We come from a team and a situation where we have brand new everything and the best of everything, and now we're on a team where we're kind of scrambling a little bit, but they have, you know, great resources, and we're just trying to get everything put back together and the way it should be, and the guys have done a really good job to do that, and it shows our power yesterday. I mean, we made 5 or 6 laps all day and we were still in the shootout, so I'll be happy today if I'm still leading the championship at the end of the day. That's all it's about for me. So if that is that going to require a third, a second, or a win, I don't know, but whatever it requires is what we're going to do.
Well, Jonathan, I think he's a bit nervous today, too. He wasn't up there in top form this morning. He was about 1.5 seconds slower than the fast times in morning warm-up. But again, in that morning warm-up, sometimes things just don't pan out right, or a lot of people are hiding their full deck of cards running in full race trim.
Yeah, he's going to be in good shape for the race. I think he's down on power a little bit. The boat isn't probably one of the best Baba boats out there. But watch out for people like Sami Celio. They've been struggling with fuel problems all morning. Some issue inside the fuel tank. When he's going, he's very, very fast. And obviously, he's the fastest boat out there on pole position at the moment. But let's hope that they've solved the problem and he's raring to go for this race.
All right, we're set to go here. The 30-second board comes up. 36 tours around this afternoon. And we hold our breath as these drivers now focus on the official starter. Seconds before the start. And we wait now, anxiously. All eyes glued on the official starter. We wait for the rows of lights to come on. They begin to lighten up. Seconds before the start, the lights come off and they're underway and they explode away from the dock. 10,000 horsepower, and they light up the afternoon as they come pouring toward tens of thousands of race fans as they strut out on the Douro River as they come racing down past us, reaching speeds of 225 kilometers per hour. It's Sami Celio in a 3-boat battle with Philippe Shep, and on the outside, you can see the driver from Team Abu Dhabi, Alex Carella. Celio slams the door, grabs a quick lead, and a great move. As we say, the driver, Philippe Shep, back in second place, holding off the charge and moving up into third. Looks like it's Eric Stark, the young rookie from Sweden, as he pushes hard. Duarte Benavente trying to move up too as they fight up into the final turns. That's 5 and 6, the shortest 2 turns of 2015, and they come circling back toward us, Jonathan. Celio leading.
Yeah, looking very, very strong out there at the moment. Let's keep our fingers crossed that he's not going to run into problems with that fuel tank as he did this morning and all day yesterday. So he was very limited in testing. But Philippe Shep now putting a little bit of pressure on him as they go down past the start-finish line. Hanging in there in third is the current is the 2-time world champion in the Abu Dhabi boat, and Stark looking good there in fourth, Steve, trying to put some pressure on him.
Yusuf Al-Robian, the winner of the last race. Jonathan has moved up 2 spots. He's gone from 7th up to 5th. He's past Torrente. There you see him. So the driver out of Kuwait, who is very, very racy in France, is looking to try to make it 2 in a row, and he's in a good spot as he worked his way around the cunning driver from Florida, Sean Torrente, who leads this championship.
Yeah, and remember as well that on that first lap, Rubayan had to take a really wide line because the first 6 boats could have a bit of a lot shorter distance, in fact, into that first turn, boys. So he's making up some ground, that's for sure, at the moment, as you see him coming through there now. Blistering pace. You've got Sean Torrente behind him, trying to do as much as he can, but we already know that Torrente's down on power. He hasn't got the acceleration of some of these front boats, but hopefully his skill and his driving technique will make up some ground as he gets around the circuit.
On board we go with the American from Florida, Torrente. You can see him trying to close up on the Kuwaiti driver, Yusuf Al-Robi, and look at the spray he took in his face. Boy, you got to stay out of the other way as the driver in front of you with the spray, because not only will you go slower if you go through his prop wash, but you get hosed down at the same time.
Yeah, and that's the problem here, you know, is that if you're stuck behind another boat, and I can see Torrente already slowing down there on the far end of the circuit. You could see Contando overtaking him quite easily. So has he got problems with that fuel tank, as they had yesterday again? Another one of those Baba boats. Doesn't seem to have the pace, as we see that Stark there, the Swedish driver, blistering pace, and just following there behind is Rubayan, slowly but surely working his way up the field. But back to the lead, Steve. Sami Celio seems to have everything under control. Philippe Chapp pushing as hard as he can, but doesn't seem to have an answer.
Well, Celio, I'll tell you what, he gained 6/100ths of a second as he pushed away from Shep. Shep was getting close. Last time around, almost identical times. 50.41 for Celio. Shep just cut it down to a 53.5. That is the fastest lap of the race so far. 5:03.5 for the current world champion.
Yeah, you can see Celio there now, clean water ahead of him. That's going to give him a big advantage for the first dozen or so laps. Chiap on the inside there now with Corella still in third, but it looks like these two guys are pulling away. Chiap taking a wider line there as he comes down past the start-finish line, trying to stop the boat from settling as it skims over the water and close that gap on the lead boat.
Corella slipping back a little bit more. Tenths at a time. The real battle's right up front. 1.27 seconds. They're almost glued together in rhythm. They're flying in formation. This man, Philippe Shep, driving the Moore boat out of France, staying right with Sami Celio. Celio now starting to work around the first back markers of the race, and that's the newcomer, Nadir Ben-Endi, from the Victory team.
Yeah, and this is where things could change as they catch the back markers. At the moment, the pace of these two lead boats is unbelievable. Different types of boats, different types of propellers. Give you an example, Sami Celio running a Baba boat built in northern Italy. Chiap running in second position there, running a Moore boat. Both engines, Mercury 2.5, fuel injected, pushing out about 400 horsepower. And both of these lead drivers are running engines which are prepared by Alex Ledden, the engine guru, out of Montreal in Canada. And it looks at the moment, let's keep our fingers crossed they've got the reliability, but for sure they seem to have the pace on the other engine builders.
1 and 2 almost glued together, 1.4 seconds, and then Corella back 5.28. He's not been back any farther. As you see, Philippe Shep working his way around some of the traffic. And, of course, Eric Stark back in that fourth place position. Look at the difference between on the timesheet, Corella and Stark. 7 seconds. So the top three are really making good their escape from the rest of the field.
But such is the pace of Celio at the moment, Steve. They've already caught up with the back markers. And this is where we may see a change, because if some of these markers don't get out of their way, then it might give Philippe Chapp that chance to close up on Celio and pinch away the lead from him.
Torrente getting feisty, just worked his way past Yusuf Al-Robin. He's back up to 6. Gatando's in front of him in the 5th spot as we watch the boats on the north side of this lovely river here, the Douro River. That's an estuary that leads out to the Atlantic. We're literally about 2 kilometers from the open ocean. And you can get the effects of this race. It's timed to run here today with the flux of the tide, with the wind and the waves, and right now it's working out perfectly. The conditions are stirring up a bit, but not too drastic at the moment.
That's right. We pick up Stark there, up in 4th at the moment, running a good race, but at the moment 14.35 seconds behind those two lead boats. So he's got it all to do here this afternoon. Philippe Stark, former many-time World Formula 2 champion, moved to the Emirates team with Scott Gilman last year. He's been training all through the winter, and you can see there Chiap all of a sudden trying to put a bit of pressure on Celio. You can see Chiap on the outside, slowly but surely closing that gap, Steve.
Chiap now closing the door really quick. Times to the outside. It was 2.3 seconds last time around. It's down to less than a half a second now. Chiap now side by side pushing as he slides past his teammate Leo Zhuang as he stays way to the outside. Shep getting closer. Celio getting more and more nervous as they head down into turn number 5 and 6.
0.3 of a second now between the lead boater Sami Celio and Philippe Chapp in that second place. Corella in third, still hanging there, but 3.55 seconds behind the lead boat.
Tell you what, traffic is making its presence known right now here on this race course, as Celio had a tougher time getting around Shep as they fight their way down this front straightaway. Once again, Celio now on the inside. Shep closing the gap, hounding him, moving in, foot by foot, meter by meter as he closes in on turn number 2.
Yeah, you can see their back markers again, thankfully keeping out of the way. Chapp tries to get on the inside of Celio. He knows now, Steve, that if he's got a straighter line coming down the back straight and he gets it right here, he may be able to close up on him. Beautiful turn there by Shep. Sami Celio on the inside. Shep cruising around the outside, floats that boat and still closes the gap on him as they come into the far end of the circuit.
Awesome move by Philippe Shep, the defending world champion in that number 1 boat in that second place spot. There you see Celio circling out of turn number 6. Now it's a short run, 434 meters down into turn number 7. Let's see who's got the pure horsepower here as they move up closer and closer as they come by with 8 laps, almost 9 gone in this race so far.
A lot of back markers there. Celio taking a very, very tight line, and it looks like Chapp has taken the outside, Steve. He's got the speed. Is he going to take him on this next turn?
Into turn number 2, turn number 3, we hold our breath. Celio dives to the inside. This time Shep is forced to go way wide. That was a mistake by the Frenchman. He lost a lot of ground. Celio probably grinning ear to ear in his cockpit, sitting there in his helmet going, I got him that time, but there's still another one coming.
And the one thing they've got to watch out for now is that Corella in that third position, he took a tight inside line, just like Sami Celio did. Chapp thought he'd go on the outside. He was hoping that some of those back markers would have taken a tighter line, but they decided to go really wide, and he lost a lot of ground there, which means that Corella is now closing up on him.
Corella's in a catbird seat right now. He can watch the 2 boats in front of him slice and dice and mark their way through traffic, but at the same time, he might be able to take advantage of the 2 as they come up now, and now on the outside. You can see Philippe Shep fighting for the lead, side by side as they go to turn number 2, turn number 3. Corella now fighting desperately and moves into first place as he works around a 2-time world champion, Sami Celio.
Fantastic driving by Chapp there. Did exactly the same thing as he did on the lap before, Steve. He knew exactly where he could take him. He floated that boat around the turns. Sami was going pin to pin, got stuck in some of the back markers, and Chapp now steaming ahead, pulling away from Celio there, and he looks like he's got everything under control as he had in France. But we know he had problems there, Steve. He broke down near the end of the race. Let's keep our fingers crossed it doesn't happen here again today.
See if it pays off here, because don't forget about Alex Corella lurking in third. Corella was 5 seconds back in the lead 2 laps ago. He's less than 2 seconds. So Alex Corella's getting feisty. He's trying to figure out a way, the formula to success, to move himself up. Now Corella's working and hounding Sami Celio as they go down this back straightaway here into turn number 2 and 3 as they head to the east side of this race course over by the bridge.
Steve, I hope I'm wrong, but I did say that Sami Celio was having 1 or 2 problems with fuel surge this morning in the fuel tank. Seems to be okay again now, picking up the pace. But I tell you what now, Corella's putting some pressure on him. There's no doubt about that. And I reckon in the next couple of laps, unless Sami pulls his finger out, it looks like Corella might take that second position away.
Corella is running 1.5 seconds faster than Sami Celio in the last lap around. He's closing up the gap. The battle for second is really heating up now as Shep's trying to make good his escape. He's already almost 4 seconds ahead of Celio. Corella right there with him as Shep now fights his way down this front straightaway in full steam as he rockets down, as Celio now doing desperately to hang on. Celio picked the pace up a little bit more. He actually went around about a half a second faster than Corella, so Celio got some real estate back, got a little bit more of a time period. He gained about 2 boat lengths.
But can you believe Philippe Chapp? In that last lap, he pulled 2 seconds. He's 5.83 seconds already ahead of Sami Celio, and 3 seconds behind Celio is Corella, who doesn't seem to have an answer for him there. So we got Chapp, Celio, Corella, Stark, Cantando, and Sean Tarrenta, the American driver, in the top 6.
Well, as we watch Alex Corella, this is his 35th start. He hasn't won in the last 5 races. He's got 7 wins in his last 18, however. He's been disqualified twice in the last 5 races that he's run. His last win was Leo Zhou close to almost a year ago. So right now he's hoping for something to happen to the driver in front of him and get a chance to take a run at the Frenchman Philippe Shep if he can only get past Sami Celio, and Celio looks like he's settling down a little bit more.
Yeah, I can tell you nobody has an answer out here for the French driver, that's for sure. Philippe Chap, as I said, driving that moorboat, Mercury 2.5 litre, 400 horsepower engine, tuned by Alex Ledden, part-time dentist, part-time race engineer, and boy, he seems to have that package very, very good there today.
And there he had a chance to see the pass, Jonathan, on the replay as we watch again. You can see that Shep pulling away immediately away from Celio when he took the lead away from him and did it with a strong move and with a lot of authority. Said, thank you very much. Go back and watch me race now from the back.
Quite amazing there, you know, and the pace that he's running out there at the moment, Steve, is just unreal. 7.67 seconds ahead now of Sami, 9.61 ahead of Carella, 2 seconds behind second and third.
Tell you what, Carella finished second here in 2011 after starting fourth. That's been his best finish. For Philippe Shep, he's never won here in Portugal. His best finish ever was an 8th back in 2007. So Philippe Shep would just dearly like to pick up a victory here. If he can do it, it'll be his 4th career victory. You know, he's been doing so well for so long, you think Philippe Shep, he's got a load of victories. He doesn't even have a handful yet. He's only won 3 times in his career, and he's already a world champion.
Yeah, it's quite amazing as we we pick him up again there now. That boat is handling so well on the water. Conditions have been very, very favorable for racing here and yesterday, because when we arrived at the beginning of the week, boy, there were like 4-foot waves coming in from the sea, and things have calmed down in the last few days. And Chap really does it. Look how well that boat is balanced on top of the water, Steve. It just does not move from side to side. It's got fantastic acceleration, and on that long back straight, he's got everything balanced to perfection. The top speed is amazing.
Upstairs on the drone cam out of turns 5 and 6. That's a wonderful place to watch the race. The fans are literally leaning over the race course. They look down and see the boats going by him. Closest place you can watch him racing in 2015 on the tour. What a great VIP area they've got. And on the drone, we take you around that very tight turn number 5 and 6. The shortest turn here on the tour as we watch them come back here. Philippe Shep, we talked about him. He's the only driver to run a sub 50-second lap. He's done a 49.68, and he is dialed in right now. 8.25 seconds ahead of Celio. Carella's still hanging around. He's lurking for that second place spot. But boy, is Shep in a race all his own right now. But we're not even halfway home yet, Jonathan. We remember what happened in France. Philippe Shep, about this time in the race, had it in his back pocket. He thought he had the victory, and guess what? He came to a stop.
Yeah, he knows he's got the pace out there. He just needs to concentrate now, get through these back markers. You can see there, Thani Al-Kwamsi, the new Abu Dhabi driver. Chap now actually coming up to lap him. So he's lapped every boat up to, what is it, 8th, 9th position at the moment, and he's scything his way through the traffic, and nobody seems to have an answer. Sami Celio now way, way back. He's about a quarter of a lap behind him now, and you can still see that Carella then 3rd position trying to close down on Celio.
As we look at the world points leader, we go back on board with Sean Torrente, and he comes down right toward us here as he goes down the front straight as he comes by, goes past turn number 7 as he slides through right there, and now heads very close to where we are. We're over on the right side, right at the mirror right now, and you can see it as that's turn number 1 as he heads down into turns number 2 and 3. Sean Torrente leads this championship with 29 points, courtesy of a victory in Doha. Finished 4th in France. Thought he had the runner-up, but the engine started to go only because the fuel filter got clogged. He barely got to the end of the race. Took 4th place points. Tell you what, this championship is wide open right now. Torrente just scrounging around trying to gain more points. He's sitting in 6th. And right now, if he finished in that, he'd get 5 more points. Remember, 20 points for the victor, 15 for second place, 12 for third, onward and downward.
Yeah, but you can see Torrente there. You can see that he doesn't have the power, does he, in that engine? I mean, I think they're running pretty much a stock Mercury 2.5 here today, because they only recently put this team together, the victory team. But believe me, you see the pace that he's running now. By the end of the year, I think you're going to see quite a difference there, because the victory team, they know how to go boat racing. They're already designing a new boat of their own. Sean is going to be testing it fairly shortly. They've got a new engine program that they're going to be working on, so watch out for these guys towards the end of the season, let's say for Abu Dhabi and Sharjah.
Yeah, not a bad run for him in that last lap. He did a 52.21, which was faster than what Sami Celio did. And before it was faster than Shep, but Shep was working his way through traffic at the time.
Yeah. I mean, a good lap for Chiap is a 49.68 against a 52. I mean, that really is a country mile when you're looking at powerboat racing here in Formula One. And we can see they're still in second position. We pick up Cantando there, hanging on in fifth at the moment. That'll be a good result for him because he's had umpteen problems over the years. This is a Blaze boat built by his family in northern Italy again. He used to run a DAC boat but decided to go their own way a number of years ago. And on the day, the boat is running very, very well. Engines there tuned by Nico van der Kelian from Belgium. He's the main Mercury contractor, really, that brings all the parts and things to each Grand Prix and services a lot of these engines.
For Francesco Gaetano, it's race number 152 in his career. He's run more than anybody else out here. And his 18 years of racing in Formula One, he's got 12 victories. And for Gaetano, he is sitting here looking for his first victory in Portugal. He's got 6 podiums and 7 top 5s. Not bad for 14 races, finishing in the top 5 half the time. And there he goes, fighting his way around as he continues to challenge. And he goes up, Gaetano now. And he and Eric Stark are fighting for that 4th spot. Gaetano is closing up on the young driver from Sweden. There you see Eric Stark, the driver from Sweden, who is starting just his 9th race. He's got 2 podiums already. And I'll tell you what, Gaetano's closing up on him.
Stark in 4th, Cantando, they're just coming into shot there in 5th position. There's just barely a second and a half between the two of them. Stark coming up again against back markers very, very shortly. That's certainly going to affect his performance. And are we going to see a change there, switch between 4th and 5th with Cantando and Stark?
As they come whistling by us, there is the veteran driver from Italy, one-time pre-law student, getting closer and closer, Jonathan, as they go down into the corner.
Cantando on the outside, you can see Stark there just going out of shot. Cantando switches to the inside. He's trying to run that boat very similar to what Chiap did earlier on when he overtook Sami Celio. Rather than going from pin to pin and burying the buoy, he's floating the buoy around the circuit, and you can see there slowly closing that gap again down the back straight.
Nadar Ben Hindi, the driver coming over from Class 1, has come to a stop, and the victory team right out in front. And right now, Luis Ribeiro, the UIM commissioner, is trying to get him to move, and they don't want to drop a yellow flag here, by all means. 22 laps into the race, but he's right in the middle of being on the cusp of being in harm's way. So a decision going to be made here shortly. Look how close he's sitting. He's on the outside, but if he's drifting this way, they may be able to sneak in there and get him.
Yeah, and the tide has actually turned. It's on its way out. So I reckon, fingers crossed, the boat is slow. You can see it going down further down the circuit. And as it does, we got one of the rescue boats there bravely going out to try and pull him away, because we do not want to stop this race, Dave. If it goes out to a yellow, then it'll spoil the pace of the front runners. And as you can see there, you've got Stark there in that 4th position, Cantando in 5th. But you can see he seems to be having the boat doesn't seem to be handling as well, and you can see Cantando again going to the outside. Steve, is he going to take him on this lap?
Francesco Gaetano itching to get up on the podium, as we talked about. He's been on the podium many times now. For Gaetano, however, he's 0 for 27. He hasn't won for 27 starts. He's got no points yet this year. Last year, 3 top 5s. He's getting closer and closer. Now he's going to work his way around Philippe Rams, who made it to the podium for the first time in his career in France, down in the 11th spot, and now he's pushing hard.
Now that's a good turn there. You can see Rams there slowing the two of them up slightly. And as you come up the back straight there, Stark settles that boat. Cantando again switches to the outside. Thinks he can get some cleaner water down there. It's not quite so rough on the far side of the circuit. You've got Stark now on the inside. Is this going to be the lap? You can see Cantando closing down on him. He's taken a wide line. Stark tries to take a tight line. Cantando's got him.
Francesco Gaetano makes an ace of a move. These two, remember, took each other out in the race in France a month ago. This time, Catando slides by him nicely on the outside and just powers around a bit of a hesitant rookie driver, Eric Stark, who got caught up in traffic. And now Catando's on the fly. He's on the hunt. He's after Alex Corella, but Corella's got it about 11-second lead. Catando, though, is getting very feisty and running really strong right now.
He certainly has. He's one of the most experienced drivers out here. We've got 12 laps to go to the end of the race. We just pick him up there now, taking a really nice line. You can see the pace that he's running at the moment, overtaking some of these back markers. He's slowly but surely closing the gap. He's in that third at the moment, closing the gap onto he's in fourth, sorry. Closing the gap onto Corella. Slowly but surely comes there. A few back markers holding him up again, and some really rough water down on that far end of the circuit.
Well, the closest race right now is for second place with Alex Corella, who is about 2.4 seconds back of Sami Celio. And Celio in second is almost 18 seconds behind Philippe Shep, your leader, who started in second place, a defending world champion. Here's the replay. You can see Catando just powering his way through on the outside. Made it look easy, as I think the rookie was a bit intimidated there, slammed the brakes on, and Catando looks like his boat's handling a little bit better than Eric Stark, and Stark couldn't go anywhere. Catando used the momentum just to slide right around him.
Yeah, Stark, I mean, I said a couple of laps before the boat didn't seem to be handling very well. Perhaps he's got a problem with the hydraulic ram on the side of that moves the engine in and out, and he settled the boat a little bit too soon coming into the far end of the circuit there, up to lap number 5. Turn number 5 and 6, and Catando just sailed past him on the outside, and now he's slowly but surely closing that gap. Catando, I'm just looking at the times, they haven't come up quite yet, but Corella's still hanging in third. So we got Chiap, Celio, Corella, Catando, Stark, and Sean Torrente with the victory team hanging in there still in that 6th slot.
Yeah, Catando lost about a half a second through traffic as he's in a fight right now for that final podium spot with Alex Corella. Corella now, as they work their way through on this race course, and it looks like down in the far end, as a problem on the race course, the boat has gone over, Jonathan. The yellow flag has come out down toward turn number 5.
Didn't see that, Steve, who it was, but it was on that long back straight. The boat's running probably around 140 mile an hour.
Number Celio, Sami Celio, the second place driver. And you can see the damage on the nose cone. So Celio goes over. What a shame for the driver from Helsinki, who had the pole, thought he could get back into this championship. Needed a good day today because he's tied for 5th. He only has 7 points on the year. And oh my, what bad luck. As you can see, Sami Celio is the Osprey Rescue Team, 40 years, veterans of this sport, quickly coming to the rescue of the 2-time world champion Sami Celio as they gingerly help him back into the rescue boat. Brand new boats, brand new engines. Well, I'll tell you what, the Osprey Rescue Team has made a real commitment to clean up and make it even safer for this tour.
Yeah, they certainly have. And boy, that is so much bad luck, isn't it, for Celio there? And this boat that they've designed, the new Baba boat, they have said in the past that it carries a lot of lift in the tunnel. That's between the 2 sponsons on the bottom of the boat, and sometimes can be a bit of a handful. We didn't see the accident. We couldn't see whether he was involved with another boat there or whether he just got too much air between those 2 sponsons as he ran down that back straight, and curtains for him today. That is a real shame. But the big thing for us now, Steve, with 28 laps gone out of 36, is that now all the boats are going to close up together. So that massive gap that Chiap had gained from being in the lead, that's going to close down quite a bit now, and you'll be able to, and second and third as well, so we could see a change for quite a few positions on the restart.
My, oh my, did he do a double blowover? Unbelievable for Sami Celio. Must have launched off a wave. Let's take a look at this again. Really dramatic. Over to the left side of your screen. Take a look as he comes by once over the top, and he barrel rolls it in as he blows it over and then corkscrews into a stop as Sami Celio. here on the 28th lap.
It looked as though if we go back on that again, maybe we can see it again. It looked as though he got very, very near between him and Carella, and whether that caused the problem or whether he'd already started blowing over. Let's have a look there, Steve, just on the inside of that circuit. Sami going there. Carella was very, very close to him, wasn't he? So was Carella trying to move and take that slot away from him? We don't know at the moment.
Tell you what, Carella came sliding over. If we watch it even one more time in a second, you'll see the two boats actually come very close together. Now watch
Here we go.
Look at the lane that Carella takes. He's on the outside of the two. Now you see the two of them together. And boy, that was very, very close, huh? Look at how close Carella was to Celio. Those two may have touched. It's hard to tell from this vantage point. But boy, they were just glued together. They were running side by side, sponson to sponson, coming very close. And over Celio goes, and the two-time world champion is out of this race. And an unintentional spectator. Good news is it looks like they worked him back into the rescue boat. He was moving around quite well.
Now, Steve, let's look at the restart of this. We're under yellow, so all the boats have got to slow down, and they've got to position themselves as they were before the accident. So we've got, as things stand, in that lead boat, we've got Carella. Second position, number 11, which is
Celio, who's gone.
Yeah.
Now,
number 6.
Alex Carella.
So it means now that Carella is going to be very, very close on that restart. I mean, Chiap had built up, I don't know, I think it was something like a 15-second cushion on Carella. So, you know, Carella now, he's going to have a second bite at the cherry, isn't he? He'll be able to close up, and the restart is crucial. We know that normally the crew chiefs that are working with Carella, and also the crew chief that is communication with Chiap, are normally fairly quick, Steve, on the restart, aren't they? But this is a crucial part of the race.
Boy, Torrente's got a great view. He's sitting back there in that 5th place position right behind the youngster. Oh, and what a shame for the local driver. The hometown hero, Duarte Benavente, has dropped out of this race. Torrente, what a shame. He started 10th. He was hoping to do so well. He's had a podium here in the past in Portugal. And in 15 races, he has dropped out again for the 6th time in his career. So bad luck for the driver, the talented driver from Lisbon, who has a brand new boat. He had high hopes, and it's not going to happen today.
No, it looks like we're looking at the restart there, and it looks like he started in 10th, and he dropped a few slots down to 14th before he came to a grinding halt with some kind of misdemeanor. But back to the front, Steve. We're going to be in for a really exciting restart here. Can Carella close the gap? Can he get a jump on that lead boat and steal it away from Chiap with 6 laps to go?
Well, there's new rules that are in place that came about this weekend, and there is no more pace boat involvement on the tour. They've removed the pace boat possibility. They're going to leave it up to the lead driver to have the responsibility of take these boats around. They all punch up here. We hold our breath here now. We wait in anticipation. Are the Osprey Rescue Team boats back into position? It looks like everybody's safely very close to get back into place.
Yeah, and you can see there Chiap in the yellow and white boat there leading the second Abu Dhabi boat. Hey, Cantando, he can be really quick on a restart. And he's sitting in a strong position there, as is Sean Torrente. He was running 6th before Sami blew
and
over.
They're going, Jonathan. And off they go. The green flag comes back out with less than 6 laps to go, as they go dashing down into turn number 5 and 6. On the point, you can see Philippe Shep holding ground, but let's see what happens behind him as they fan on out. As they go racing through already a bit of confusion. And is there going to be a change up in the top 3? We're about ready to find out. As Philippe Shep works his way down to the front straightaway as they fight down through. Shep building up a huge margin. Now Cantando in second, side by side with Eric Stark. As they go by in the 2 Team Abu Dhabi boats fighting. Sean Torrente sliding back. He's struggling a bit. He's lost his momentum. Cantando comes out of the corner, makes a bad move as he slides, overdrives it in turn number 3. Stark moves up into second place. And the Swedish rookie is holding on, but he's having problems. He almost blew it over, and Contando saved it, and now the fight for second place heats up.
That's what I said. They were going to have the overtaking position there. As you can see, Stark on the outside, Contando having to switch again to the outside. My goodness, there was nearly an accident there. So Contando has gone from 4th. He went up to 2nd, he went back to 3rd, back to 4th, and now he's dropped back even further. And Stark now is sitting in that 2nd position with Alex Carrella 3rd, and you can just see Contando there already dropped 2 slots.
All right, Contando right there in that spot in the 4th position as he fights his way through. Thaniel Quimsey in the 6th spot. Jonas Anderson in the 7th position with Torrente up in that 5th position as they work their way through on this race circuit here.
You can see there, just going out of shot is Carrella. Contando back in 4th again now. That was a bad mistake by Contando. We thought that he ran beautifully down that back straight. We thought he'd actually pinch that back from Stark, but now we've got Chiap leading, Stark in 2nd, Carrella 3rd, Contando 4th, Torrente 5th, and Thaniel Quamsi, that's Carrella's teammate, sitting in 6th.
Steve Michael with Jonathan Jones, many-time world champion. We're glad you're with us here. 3rd round of this 2015 UIM Formula One World Championship, the 14th Grand Prix of Portugal, with less than 3 laps to go. As they come by, Eric Stark in 2nd, being hounded by Alex Carrella. Contando dropping about 3 seconds back. Torrente fighting now. He's trying to stay up in the top 4.
You can see Stark there. We just out of shot as he came down past us. Almost lost control of the boat there, Steve. The boat went right up on its side, and I thought that he was going to lose that position. Look, Stark on the outside. You've got Carrella there on the inside. Stark is having real handling problems on that long back straight with that very, very short DSC. Is he going to turn in tight? Yes, he does. Carrella has to take the outside, so Stark is still in that 2nd position. Carrella comes through on the inside.
It's a handful for the driver out of Sweden as he tries to hold off the 3-time world champion. There you see it as you watch Alex Carrella dance side by side on the spots, is barely hanging on as he fights his way through, and he tries to close up with Jonas Anderson going by just a second ago, dropping out of the race. What a shame for the driver from Sweden, who was in 9th place.
But this guy in the lead, Philippe Chiap, 3.71 seconds now ahead of that 2nd position of Stark. Stark now settling down again, getting the balance of that boat a little bit better. Oh my goodness, he slows down on the right-hander, and Carrella's gone on the inside of him, Steve.
Carrella trying to make the move now. He's trying to close up, less than a 1.5 seconds to go as they fight, as they come close. Here comes Carrella with now just barely over a lap left to be run here on this Grand Prix. Coming by now with fighting for turn number 7 as they come out of the corner. They struggle to get down toward us in the location as they come battling down through. There's your leader with 1 lap left to go. Philippe Shep now can almost cruise home, but behind him you can see Alex Carrella doing everything he can to catch Eric Stark.
All Stark needs to do, Steve, is keep a nice tight line. Beautiful corner there. Now it's down the back straight where we've seen he's had a problem before. He's just gone out of shot, and you can see there now Carrella pushing as hard as he can again around that right-hander. Stark gets it wrong, but he just seems to have an edge now with half a lap to go, Steve.
All right, with just 3 tours left to go, 3 more corners here on this very final last lap. You watch Eric Stark. Philippe Shep with a 5-second margin is going to look up. He could almost coast home. The Frenchman, the defending world champion, comes by as he comes up with 1 more corner to go. Philippe Shep of France will take his first victory of 2015 to win it for CTIC China. Second place, Eric Stark. 3rd, just ahead of Alex Carrella, who was about 2 boat lengths back. Those are your podium finishers, with Contando now fighting his way up into that 4th position. And Sean Torrente finishing in the top 5.
That was a great, great result for Team CTIC China. Do you know, at the beginning of the race, we saw Sami Celio really taking the fight to Chiap for the first time, because Chiap really just seems to be the master of Formula One at the moment. And you know, Celio made a few mistakes there. Chap just dove past him, and a great result. You can see there David Moore, and who's the boat builder, and next to him the Swedish propeller designer that they've brought on board this year seems to be doing a great job for them. And there we see poor Jonas Andersson again having technical problems.
He's got some damage on the left spots, and obviously he came in contact with something or some driver and boat, so obviously very disappointed. He was up in the top 10, was trying to fight for a top 10 placement, but his day comes to an end about 2 laps from the end, and Jonas Andersson will pick up no points here in this 3rd round of the championship. It's all smiles, it's all celebration for France, as today Philippe Schepp picks up his first victory of the year in 2015, his 4th of his career in his 95th start, and for him this is his 28th time to come up, and he is excited about going to the podium this afternoon, and all of France has got to be excited and elated because Philippe Schepp was fighting for points, and now he has, with the victory, 35 points on the year, and he is now 1 point ahead of Sean Tarente. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's they're tied. How about that? Can't get any closer than that right now.
No, but that was a great race. That was I mean, the way that he just drove through the traffic, the way that he picked Celio off for the lead, went way on the outside. He lost out on the first time he tried it. But the boat just looks so well balanced on the water, and the engine is pushing so well. The tuning work is obviously, they've got everything down to a fine art on that. And there you can see the boat there, the Moore boat, powered by that Mercury 2.5, just going out to do their lap of honour, Steve. And a great day's racing here in Porto, in Portugal, in what I reckon is one of the best circuits that we've got at the moment. I mean, it's long. There's opportunities to overtake. You could see on that long back straight there where the turn number 4 was the right-hander. People were able to overtake, and just a great result for this French team.
All of France is celebrating here as Philippe Schepp comes up with his victory this afternoon. All but the top 5 drivers were lapped this afternoon by Philippe Schepp. He had a great steady race, waited, took his time, saw what Sami Celio was trying to accomplish, and then realized that he could close in. He stayed within about 2.5 seconds of Celio throughout the first third of the race, and then he found a way to sneak by him. And like a lion in the night, he attacked him and got past him and never looked back. He gained 2 to 3 seconds on him in the first couple of laps after he passed him, and took Celio's momentum away, and I'll tell you what, he just cruised to this last victory today.
Yeah, he certainly did. It looked like he was just biding his time, didn't it? I mean, because such was the pace that when he actually overtook Celio, boy, he just pulled away, as you say. I mean, I think within about 5 laps, he was something like about 7 seconds ahead, and he didn't put a foot wrong out there, Steve, did he? But the boat was just coming through the back markers. All credit to the back markers here, because you could see every last one of them. Obviously, they were in radio communication with the UIM and with their team managers. And they were told with the front runners, you know, don't stop them, don't cut in front of them, give them enough room to get through. And the back markers did a great job out here today. And boy, that team must be so pumped up now. They're closing down on the championship, as you said, with Sean Tarente. And you know, if you look at it for the next 3 or 4 Grand Prix, it looks like they seem to have everything under control.
Tell you what, Philippe Schepp today, that's his 3rd win in his last 12 starts. He's finished either 1st or 2nd in his last 8 races in a row that he's finished. So he's been steady. He's had a wonderful last couple of years, and he is starting to dominate the series. And as you said, he's got the right combination of boat, driver intelligence. He's not a youngster anymore. He's a veteran with 95 races, and then with Alex Halledin building those engines, as you mentioned. Tell you what, it's been a fantastic combination. They're going to be tough to beat, but we got a long way to go, and this drama is only heating up for 2015. So as we take a look at how it finished off today, Schepp picking up 20 big points. Stark with a nice day for the rookie driver out of Sweden. Corella in 3rd with 12. He needed those points. Catano just missing the podium. Tarente got a top 5. He's pretty excited about that. And El Quimsy came back, and for him, it's great to have him back on the tour. Another good day for Philip Rahms, finishing in the top 10. Yusuf Al-Robian struggling in 8th position. And farther down, Ahmed El Hamli finishing down in that 10th position, the final and points-paying position as you look at the remainder of the field of drivers. As we mentioned, 20 drivers from 12 different nations, 4 different continents, the biggest field of drivers we've had in 2.5 years, Jonathan. And the series is only getting stronger and stronger. You gotta love the venues here. This was picturesque all afternoon, brilliant sunshine, tens of thousands of people. They said well over 200,000. We'll have to wait and see what the final count is. But a great, great display of people coming out and the enthusiastic feeling of these people here today in the VIP areas. What a wonderful setting for a Grand Prix.
Yeah, it's almost like an amphitheater, isn't it, Steve? I mean, you know, you've got all the vantage points right the way around the circuit there. Beautiful backdrop of the city, as you said, one of the oldest cities in Europe. And we've had a look around in the last couple of days around the streets here, and it really is a place that people need to come to. I mean, it was fantastic. But we knew from the start that this was going to be a blinding race. The conditions, we didn't know what we were going to have conditions-wise because we are open to the elements somewhat here, but they were absolutely perfect without being too calm, because as you saw, Sami got caught out there on that long back straight. It was just right for boat racing, and all of a sudden we have new teams coming on board. We got the Victory team now that have decided, I don't know whether they're going to carry on with Class 1, but they certainly look very, very keen on developing a new boat here for Formula 1, and they'll have Sean Torrente there in that boat towards the end of the year, so that's going to be quite interesting to see. And if we can have a rest of the season like this, Steve, we know we're off to China next. We've been there before. Another super venue, lots and lots of people coming along, tremendous amount of media exposure around the world. So, you know, it looks like Formula 1 boat racing is on the up and up.
It really is, and I think, as you mentioned here, we take a look at the unofficial tally this afternoon. That's unofficial, but it's showing you how tight the championship is getting. And, of course, you got to remember that with the second place finish today, that Eric Stark, who came in with 12 points, picked up 15 more, so he has 27 points. So we'll get it figured out.
Yeah, Steve, but like you said, I mean, it's still wide open because we've got quite a few Grand Prix to go to the end of the season, and there's 1 point now between Torrente and Chiappe for first and second, really close. But then there's a bundle of other drivers just behind them with a good bag of points, and some of those drivers are more than capable. We've seen we've got world champions there. We've got people that have been running very, very strong. So I think it's going to be a great end to the season, that's for sure.
Well, as you take a look at this, you can see the overall championship standings, and this is very unofficial at the moment, but that's how tight it is as you look farther and farther down. But again, this is very unofficial, so they're not totally correct, but give you an idea of what we're doing here. The more importantly, we're going to have a great 3-boat battle. We got Philippe Shep, and you've got Sean Torrente within a point of each other. And you've got Eric Stark now, who is on the roll. I'll tell you something, Eric Stark, the rookie, who struggled out there, Jonathan. He, as you mentioned, the boat short. He had a long straightaway going down against the walls. He was flying down, and the boat was just lifting on him. He couldn't settle a boat very well. He was fighting the wash coming off the wall, going down into 5 and 6. He was very vulnerable there. I'm surprised Corella couldn't get him. But more importantly, with Eric Stark and his team manager, Scott Gilman, kind of taking him along, helping him, I think it's going to make a difference. We'll talk about that in a second, but first, let's take a look back on what we just saw here on this third round of this championship for 2015, the 14th Grand Prix of Portugal. Let's take a look at the highlights. And as they came off the dock, as we talked about, 20 drivers from throughout 4 different continents blasted away. And they fanned out as they came through. There was a commitment buoy that the top 6 went through, and the rest of the field had to stretch it out a little wider so you can see how they scatter, and they come down and taking full advantage of that. Sami Celio was pushing 3 boats abreast as they came down into that first turn. Celio hugged the inside. Look at how feisty that Philippe Shep got. Shep slid by, but had to force his way into a situation where he had to give ground to Celio. And as you see them coming slowly around the corner there, it was a good push. As this is turns number 5 and 6 on the very west side of the course, and tremendous racing. And the fans had a great view. And right here, You could see the Celio accident as he went over. He and Alex Corella may have touched. It was so very close. We don't know from our vantage point. This is pure speculation. But the two of them, I think, got together, maybe. And Celio gave ground, and he barrel rolled high in the air and then flipped the boat, barrel rolled, and ended his day in tears. So on the restart was something new. Without the pace boat, off went our leader, Philippe Shep, and he stormed away. And getting feisty was Francesco Catando right off the bat as he tried to figure out a way to go up and go from 4th to 2nd. He dropped back to 4th place. And at the end, Francesco Catando was fighting and ended up in 4th place. But the man of the hour was Philippe Shep from France, taking the victory, picking up his 4th career #1 spot in 95 starts. He is a slow learner, Jonathan. He was meticulous, though. For many, many years he's been racing. This is his 13th season. Remember, this is only his 4th win, so you got to keep hanging in there. A lot of people get impatient. He hung in there, learned the ropes, got the right people around him to build a successful program, which he now has.
Yeah, and the boat builder, we mentioned Philip Moore. I mean, he has worked really hard with him over the last couple of years. Last year they brought 3 boats to the championship, and then they developed another one over the winter, and they've come up with this new design. Seems to be running really, really well, especially with Chiap. I mean, they've got other boats out there, but they're certainly not running as well as that one. And as I say, it's a combination, I think, of boat, engine tuner, propeller man, and all the crew that are putting that package together. Because, you know, a lot of those guys, you don't see them on the television, but they do a blinding job, and they work night and day to make sure that that driver gets the best equipment that he can get to win the Grand Prix.
A lovely view of the Eiffel Bridge that was built by the same architect who built the Eiffel Tower in Paris. He lived here for 7 years. Isn't that a gorgeous bridge? People were diving off the low forms yesterday, and it's a wonderful view to watch even up high on the course as the fans go across from Gaia here to Porto. Porto is over on the left of your screen across the river. We're over here in Gaia, but more importantly, the fans turned out in record numbers today. I think the city of Porto really took to this event. Again, a summertime festival, the summer weekend to come to, and why not UIM Formula One powerboat racing?
Yeah, and we've got to give credit to both these cities, to Gaia and to Porto, because, you know, they've worked together as a team to make this event successful here, and they've done a great job. The organisation has been second to none. All credit to Luis, the commissioner, the UIM commissioner, who's Luis Ribeiro, who's worked really hard here all week and probably for months before this event to make sure that everything was in place. He did a great job on the restart on the yellows. There was a lot of traffic out there. There were boats that broke down. Rather than put the yellow out, he actually towed those boats back into the pontoon and everything, kept the race running, kept the excitement, kept the spectators interested, and a great job from him today as well, to be fair.
Yeah, hats off to him. They figured out a new formula to success, and they've decided now that you get within 3 laps of an end and there's a stoppage because of an accident or somebody in harm's way, the race is officially over. You back up to 5 laps, and if it's 5 laps to go and something happens, they're going to just keep going around, but they will give the fans the 5 laps that they deserve and not keep counting laps. So a new strategy in this sport, and why not? Racing, it's a show. That's why we're here. UIM Formula One H2O World Championship, the best show in the world on water, and we're glad you're with us today. And now we focus in on our next event. Jonathan, we're heading off to Liuzhou in China, and that is exactly 2 months from today.
Yeah, and that's another great venue. Big event in China, there's no question about it. And okay, maybe not quite the backdrop that we've got here, but still a super circuit, a big circuit again, lots of room for overtaking. And this is where this circuit, I know that Luis has been looking at the circuits over the last sort of 4 or 5 Grand Prix, and he's come up with this new layout, Steve, which is so much better than when we used to have these tiny circuits with a point and squirt where nobody could overtake. I mean, this was exciting racing today here, as it was in France for the last Grand Prix, and I think they've got that balance just right now, and let's hope that we go into the future, similar sort of circuits, and I think it'll be great for powerboat racing.
Yeah, I think the exciting thing about this circuit this afternoon, as you talk about the changing circuits in the future of this sport, is today here in Portugal, you had 2 narrow points on the end where passing was possible. You could come into a braking zone and make a move, as well as a nice right-hander. They stretched this course out. You can see it, 2.158 kilometers, around 7 pins. It wasn't busy, but as we talked about on the outsides of the circuits, 2, 3, and 5 and 6 were exciting to watch.
Yeah, this is all about skill now. We'd gone away from that a little bit to these short circuits where nobody could overtake, and it was just all about acceleration. And the guy that was in the lead boat would always win the race. We had that for such a long time. But now in the last 2 Grand Prix, we've seen so many changes during the race, and that's what's made exciting powerboat racing. And let's hope that they use that as an example for future Grand Prix.
A beautiful sunshine draped afternoon here in Porto. A wonderful, wonderful day. A lot of great memories have been built for those of you leaving us now who have been watching. For my partner Jonathan Jones and all the great Idea marketing crew, saying whether it's good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever in the world you may be at the moment, you've been watching the most exciting racing entertainment on water, the UIM Formula One H2O World Championship. Don't forget to join us for the 4th round of the championship as we head for Liuzhou, China, in the heart of the Far East on the weekend of the 1st and 2nd of October. In the meantime, you can follow us all on the news by going to our official website at www.f1h2o.com. Until then, on a memorial and a wonderful, memorable afternoon here in the lovely city of Porto, I'm Steve Michael saying so long from the lovely medieval region of Northwest Portugal here in Europe. So long, everybody.